Yep, I can.
Got a new phone, see if it works very well.
Maybe we should get like a little iPad, put him there, have his face on the
That would
desk.
be awesome. I'd like to get iPads for everybody, but I don't think they want us.
And you don't really want that hassle.
Right?
No, that's a bad idea.
That's why I haven't done it.
It is 6 o'clock and I'm going to call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone to the February 26th business meeting of the City of Smith Center. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes of the February 12th business meeting? Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Has everybody had a chance to review your vouchers and audit the receipts? If those are all in order, I need a motion to approve the February 12th meeting minutes, pay the bills, and approve the vouchers for the receipts.
So moved.
I'll second. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. At 6:15 tonight, we have a hearing. So whatever we're doing at that point, we'll take an adjourn session to go into our hearing for the vacation of the alley. Where I have it here. Under previous, so looks like we're gonna go right into the department reports. Golf course is on the first on the list. Anybody here to report on the golf course?
I've got something on it.
Okay.
I got a quote to the three wells that run the fresh water at the golf course. I think they're all plugged. I got a quote from Downey for $3,200 a piece to refab those. Ariel thinks she's got a couple grants she can apply for to pay for that or help pay for it. The reason why I'm saying that, Tracy, I think he talked to you last time about putting a pump in out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 10-gallon minute pump. There's 16 foot of water in that well, and it wouldn't fill the lines up. It'd pump that well down, and it wouldn't fill back up enough. They'd have to shut the pump off to let it fill up
Needs
to
to be
go
on.
and fill the lines.
The grant you're looking for, will it pay for 100% or a percentage of?
We'll just have to see what they give us, I guess. I mean, I'll ask for it all, but I think they're gonna give us all.
Do we need to get the grant before we go ahead and approve the bid?
Needs to be done.
That water supplies it, that well supplies water to the clubhouse.
Okay.
The last pump was probably maybe still under warranty. It was less than a year and a half old.
Okay.
I think the reason why that is that pump supplies water to the clubhouse and all the hydrants. There's a hydrant by almost every green.
Yeah.
And you can use those hydrants in the winter to water the greens to keep moisture to the greens.
Mhm.
I think Bowden, he told me several times he couldn't run more than one sprinkler. I thought that was weird, but I never thought anything of it until this pump went out. I think it's been that way for a long time. Bowden had turned it on and it would just
Okay.
run out of water. Pump sand.
Who's on the golf course?
Dave,
You hear what's going on out there?
Yeah, I do.
Consensus of the council? Don,
Yeah, go for it.
fix it. Chris?
I'm just waiting on Tracy and Rick.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
It's just cavitating. They're gonna have to be fixed. I mean, it fills back up, but it takes about 15 minutes. They need to be acidized and cleaned up.
This is 3 wells or 1 well? 3.
Does the other one have trouble too? I mean,
I don't know, and I could have them test it to see before we ever have them do that. That was our plan when they get down here, because they got it set for 24 hours. So they can pull a test on the other two pumps on well 3 and see what they're pumping, see how they go. That was my plan, but they're all about the same depth and a little bit difference. And he said
That
about
water's
32.
hard as a rock out there. I mean, it plugs those screens up.
Yeah.
It needs to be done.
Okay. Brady, Dave, in agreement?
We can get it granted.
Yeah, I am.
Need a motion to
I'll make a-
approve.
I'll make a
to
motion.
move forward. Tracy makes a motion, somebody wants a second.
Second.
Don, you have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right.
We also have the golf cart bids.
Yeah, I see that.
Through the purchasing program, they will honor the same price as the ones that we just purchased in 2023. They are very similar. I received an email at the end of last week that the 3 that they have in stock have headlights and taillights that they will not charge us for. They move forward with these 3 purchases, and they can be delivered this week.
How many you getting?
3.
So if you get 3 new golf carts, I don't see any sense of having to go to Plainville and get 5 golf carts leased.
That was
I
quite a
think we
lot.
can do away with that program. That was the initial thought, so.
Do we have more golf carts that we could retire that's on their last legs?
We do, but not important ones. The one we use for picking up balls, it don't even run anymore. It needs to drive over the creek bank. But,
With a certain driver on it.
yeah, we got some older ones, but if we keep this up for another year, I think we'll replace everything we got, everything in pretty good shape.
Dave, they have you see this, they have 3 golf carts at 5,800, a golf cart out of M&M out of Lee Summit, Missouri.
Yeah, and I think we'd be amiss if we didn't buy them.
Okay.
They're still selling regular cost at over 12,000.
I know. I think we need to buy them.
Well, I think one of the reasons, them being where they are and those being gas carts, I know a lot of clubs back there don't allow gas carts anymore. So that might be a reason they're moving these.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, that's good.
Okay. Consensus of the council, need a motion to approve,
So moved.
to purchase.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to purchase there's 3 of them.
Yes.
Been moved and seconded to purchase the 3 carts for 5,800 a car. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion
All
carried.
right.
Motion carried.
So we're gonna do away with the rental cards
Purchase
we
agreement.
get from
I
Plainville.
mean, I think that was our intent, once we got to a level where we didn't think we needed those anymore. Are we
And
to that
we're
level?
there because we were getting 5 from them and they didn't work half the time, half the year anyway. And this will make 6, because we didn't get the other 3 till August of last year.
Well, let's
So,
see how we get along at the start here and address it, if we have a boom in golfing.
We might still end up
certainly-
have to
I know
rent
that
some.
was the plan when we bought those last year, was to reduce the number that we need to rent each year.
Well, what's your agreement say? Like, is there a certain time you have to renew it or let them know that you're
No,
not doing it?
they're
Or
ready to lease. It begins May 1st, if that's the case. But they know that we are looking at purchasing and may not be going into a lease agreement, or if so, maybe.
So if you
leasing
called
less.
them after May 1st and said, yeah, we don't need them anymore, come get them, you don't lose any money?
We're not penalized, no.
Okay.
Go with it, so.
Bill, you, hey,
On the fairway mower that we just purchased, I think the thought or the consensus was to sell the mower that we replaced. about 2 years ago, Bowden borrowed a greens mower from Red Cloud, and it's been in our shed ever since. I thought it got taken back last year, but apparently it didn't, because I had a phone call about it about a month ago. And what they are offering, they want that fairway mower. The fairway mower doesn't do us any good. However, that greens mower does, because Trace can use it to verticut and do different things with it. So what they're wanting to do is just trade. They'll give us the greens mower, and then he's got 2 new sets of reels for it that he would send with it, and then we just send the fairway mower to them. Now, we've had that mower for a pretty good while and have never given them anything. I know that doesn't obligate us to do it, but if we get the greens mower from them, Trace can put that to use. I think he looked up, and he thought he could probably get about $5,000, $4,000 to $5,000 for the fairway mower that we have. So the greens mower is worth about the same, not including the 2 new sets of reels. So I guess we need approval to do the swap.
How's the ages of this equipment?
The greens mower is a little newer than the fairway mower is. And something else, with one of the set of reels that they have for that greens mower, Trace can use it to do tee boxes instead of doing tee boxes. He said he'd be more efficient with that than using the fairway mower.
Brady, opinion?
If they're the same value and the board wants to do it, that's.
John,
I agree.
Tracy, Chris, Dave?
Yeah,
And I think that's in agreement of the council to go ahead and make the trade, but I think it's gonna be the agreement of the council. Don't let your greenskeeper borrow anything about letting anybody else know about it. Let's put a stop to that.
That was previous greenskeeper.
Understand?
They apparently had something they were using that replaced that.
That was their
Red
third,
Cloud.
that was their third stringer,
Oh,
fourth stringer
boy.
that we
Well, I
got.
think we need to trade up, get their number 1 pick.
There you go. Throw a little cash at them.
Well, if that incident comes up again, nip it in the ass, because I don't want to start that.
In other words, don't let it happen.
Yeah.
We need to. make a motion.
Is that all we have to do with the address to the golf course?
The only other thing I wanted to bring up, Trace had talked about with the mowing. He said that Rick had talked to him about letting David work out there and help mow for the beginning of the season to get things going. So he thought with the 2 of them, they could probably tackle the mowing if they could look at hiring one of the high school kids to do like trash, pick up range balls, some of those odds and ends things that keep them away from the mowing.
Okay.
If you're willing to look at that when it comes time to hire. Oh, I told him I would let you guys know.
Okay. Yeah, it's not quite 6:15, but it's close. Rec commission's got, looks like got quite a bit on the agenda. What do we got here? A couple minutes. Rec commission, you want to get started? Well, we'll interrupt you at 6:15. Who's on?
You want me to start it?
Yeah, we just,
We have an opportunity to receive a building in town as a gift, the old bowling alley. Joan Seidels has offered to, or willing to donate that building to the city. What you see before you that was in your packets is kind of a preliminary plan of attack. A proposal of what we want to do with the facility. All of it's preliminary based on the city wanting it, accepting it. And there's a lot of moving parts right now, so we hope to move forward with a few things and see where we lie in a couple weeks, a month, a couple months. We don't know how long it'll take. So the proposal you have has a lot of stuff. We've talked to a strategic planner, put a plan together. So we got an idea of what it would take to attain what we want. But without getting in the facility, and that'll happen in April, she's gonna let us in to do some measuring and looking around. And once we do that, then we can kind of get an idea of how we want to lay it out. And then that'll give us some more of an idea of what we can do with the facility. But what we want to do is turn it into essentially a training facility that would coincide with what we do as a rec in each sport that we provide for the kids. And we'd set it up seasonally to those sports. And then we'd figure out a system of scheduling for use. And hopefully it's a huge benefit to the youth and something that we can sustain as a city. So when you look at that, I mean, if you have any questions, answer whatever you got. Where we need to move next, I guess. We've met with Tabitha and Jill about legal agreements that we'd have to have. With Jill about taxes, insurance, all that good stuff.
616, Bryce.
What's that? Oh, sorry.
So interesting, I kept you overboard.
Yeah, you did. You had me spellbound. All right. Sorry, Joey.
Yep.
We're gonna have to take a recess and go into our vacation valley. Street, alley, street, whatever it is. We have a notice of hearing here. It's a notice of hearing gratification by the city clerk and City of Smith Center, vacation enclosure property, street south of block 22, 3, 4, and section 22 in the Wilmer Place Addition Township, which is from the east side of Wilmer to the east city limit. How far would that be? 10 feet, 100 feet, quarter mile?
I don't know how many feet. It's not very long.
We have a petition here from John Timmons, Amy Timmons, and Charles Beckman. Everybody have a chance to read this? Audience, is there any objections or pros for it?
If you want to pass it around, it's kind of easier to see in that section.
Is there any objections from the audience on this? Or comments, either way? If there's nothing in the audience to have objections of for or against, council, are we maintaining any right-of-way through the street itself to the east, or is there?
We
Is that
do
water?
maintain right of way for utilities. It's listed in that ordinance.
Do we have utilities in that by chance, Rick?
No.
No? Okay.
When it says a portion of Port Street south of blocks 20, it doesn't say what portion of it.
What defined by
So whatever's
direction.
south of
Yeah.
22, 23, and 24.
showing the sections, yes.
Okay.
Was that originally supposed to go through, I take it?
No clue.
Why does it shoot out there like it does?
Our city forefathers had great ambitions. This ordinance 1046 is the ordinance that we have for vacation streets. Section 1, 83. If there's comments, council,
Now, where is the city limits at on the east side?
It runs north on that map.
Oh,
yeah, they're currently. I don't know where they're currently.
maybe the hospital.
That's what was added on here. Yeah. Their house.
Less.
Which
Through
is
the
why
three
it
lots.
just didn't have to be clear.
There's one.
It's,
Yeah,
yes,
that's right there.
but I believe you take it and sit on the garage on the side, not over it, but.
Okay, I mean, there's it's all in the alley in the north.
Goes out to a field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't understand.
Well, we've determined that there's no privacy violations or whatever with other parties involved. I need a motion to approve this 1046, the vacation of the addition on sections 22, 3, and 4.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I will have Tabitha to review my language to make sure this is absolute before,
Okay.
if you can look at it when you get time before we.
Mm-hmm. Just email me a copy of it in the morning so I don't forget.
Absolutely.
Oh, got it.
Make sure I don't have it
Joy,
there.
you may have the floor again. We're going to go back into regular session.
Yeah.
John,
has a question.
just want to say thank you. Oh, certainly.
And we will get it posted in the newspaper upon publication and it becomes effective.
This is what we do. We move slowly. All right. Certainly, John.
So,
Yes, Joe.
looking at that proposal.
You want to start over?
Yeah, right. Looking at that proposal, I mean, basically what we would want from you guys, I don't want to say want, whatever you guys would recommend moving forward as a council, what the rec commission would be able to do if you did accept this gift. I know that's, you would have to have a legal agreement to do that precisely, but the idea of it, the interest level of the community, that the people we've talked to, the groups we've talked to, you can see we've done homework and everybody's been assigned homework within our group. So there's a ball rolling. It's just a matter of what the city's thoughts are with attaining a building like that as a gift.
Well, I see here you got some tax numbers. Is that going part of this thing?
Tax numbers.
Well,
There's
property taxes.
is this.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What is that?
That's just some of the priors that we went through. One of the questions was insurance costs, taxes. We can apply to have it forgiven to where, I don't know
Well-
whether it would qualify.
Well, the thing I'm thinking is that we do have a land bank that the city owns, and anything, that property that's in the land bank is tax exempt anyway. If this is,
No,
That's not
not upon receiving. It clears up red tape,
Right.
basically.
it's like giving it a bath, putting it in the land bank. But once you take possession of the property, if you purchased it or were gifted something out of the land bank, you still have to pay property tax on that. It's not like in perpetuity, you don't have to pay property tax on. It would be a nice idea, though.
well, I was on another deal that there's land banks that hold motels or hotels to get out of property taxes.
Like keep it in the bank.
Yeah, keeping it in the land bank.
I don't have enough experience with land banks to know
Well,
how that would be
that's-
possible, but
Ours isn't.
in
It
this
takes 7
situation, the donor, I think, has been in contact with Joe and Sean about potentially gifting the property to the city for the specific use of the rec commission. And that's why they gave you this little like training center plan. When I spoke with Joe and Sean first, my main concern was, what are the conditions on the gift, if any? Because obviously the council will have to vote to accept it if there are conditions, right? And so when I spoke with her, she said specifically she wanted to be able to name the building. And I think she had proposed Ken Seidel's Training Center is what she said to me on the phone. Here they just have Seidel's. I don't know, we'll have to get that clear, but I don't think that's a big deal. And I don't imagine that's a major impediment to the city. The other concern that I had was whether or not it was going to be donated specifically for that purpose and that purpose only. When I spoke with our accountant about it, he had some concerns about it being gifted for that specific purpose only, because what happens if it's not used for that purpose 5, 10, 20 years down the road? What happens to the property then? Typically, those properties would revert back to the prior owner, which can be kind of costly for the city. If you've put money into it, you don't get it back. Whereas typically, you put money in a building and then you don't use it anymore, you can sell it.
Well, that's where I say the land bank is part of that they can donate it to the land bank. The land bank holds it.
I don't think she has any interest in donating it to the land bank because she wants it to be used for this purpose.
Can she,
Well,
can a
You
land,
use it for that purpose.
can it be earmarked for that?
Yeah, exactly. That, all the agreements that are made through the city is made through the land bank with her for whatever her stipulations are. And it will be fulfilled because that's just the part that we put in place here several years ago to do these projects.
This is,
That's why I understood it when we. put
I
it
just
together.
think that in this particular instance, the land bank would just complicate it further. I don't think that it needs that additional step. Certainly, the city can accept a gift of property to do this project if they wanted to. And that's not an issue. The issue is whether or not the city wants to accept the property. And it sounded like, based on my conversation with her, that she would be willing to enter into some sort of, the condition of the gift would be priority to be used for the rec commission, but for any suitable purpose that benefits the city if necessary. So that way we don't have to worry about a reversion if in 20 years there's a new board on the rec commission who's not interested in using it and the interest is down or whatever, and you want to turn it into your new city office or use it for some other purpose, then you wouldn't have that issue of the reversion.
Well, can it be readdressed over a period of time?
What do you mean readdressed?
Well, okay, say for the youth center,
Uh-huh.
and like you said, in 10 years, maybe,
Renamed? Is that what you mean?
well, yeah, repurposed. I mean, just,
Made it into a bowling alley.
Right. So that's that is exactly what I was just saying, is I'm optimistic that she'll agree to that as a condition, that it isn't so specific. If she says it's only, yeah, I decided I only want it for rec commission purpose, and if not, then I want it back. I don't think that's the way she's gonna land. But right now, I can't speak for her.
So just
So-
buy it from her for $1 and guarantee we'll put her whatever name she wants on it. And you run through all that red tape. It's yours for good.
It's yours. I mean, you can buy it for $1 with conditions. That's not, I think for her, she doesn't care about $1. $1 doesn't solve the problem. The issue is still, what's the condition of the sale or of the gift, whichever. So you can still have conditions even if she gave it for $1. I can't answer these questions yet. All I can tell you is that I've talked to her and that I'm optimistic that we can reach an agreement where she would gift it and allow it to be used for any purpose that the city wants to use it for, but specifically she would like to help the rec commission do this project. That's why she's offered to gift it.
I really like the thought of, I know in some charitable trusts that I've dealt with in the past, they specifically say, they want it primarily for a certain reason. And for to, beyond that, to expand that if it needs to happen in the future. And I think that would be a really important piece of the puzzle in my mind.
Yeah, thank you. I agree. So that's kind of where I am on that. And then Jill spoke to the appraiser about the taxes on the property. And right now, because it's being used as a storage building, it's being taxed residentially. But if it's gifted to the city, that's going to revert back to a commercial tax rate, which is what they told Jill at 30%. And so if the rec commission's goal is to put 200 grand in it, that's going to be a pretty hefty tax bill for y'all to carry. Although there's at least an argument that you could try to have the building be tax exempt as a city property, but there's a lot of red tape to do that, and I don't know if this use would qualify or not. Dennis didn't know for sure either, so I asked the accountant, he wasn't sure. So that's obviously a consideration that y'all will have to look at when you're budgeting and figuring out your plan. And I don't know that that's a deal breaker, but I don't know if you had that information before you came today.
I got it today, so I just emailed it this afternoon. You probably haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But
I think we need to contact the League of Municipalities because they're the ones that set this stuff up originally with the state of Kansas. So the gals that work down there in the law office of the league are the ones that set up the land bank stuff for refurbs and public entity buildings. I think it's worth a call to them.
You mean to get around the property tax?
Yeah, get around the whole situation. It's a public building.
we pay taxes on a few different city facilities though that don't qualify for tax exemption. We can look into it for sure. And if it goes through, we'll absolutely submit the form to try. But even our Pocket Park,
on the refurb part of this thing, the number you have there, what's the plan of
So
that?
just to be clear what we're doing, we're not making a teen center or anything like that. It is an absolute training facility for all the sports that we provide, baseball, softball. We help with wrestling. We want to bring gymnastics into it and youth golf as well. So this facility will essentially transform with every season that we're in. Not everything's going to be out all at once. That would be impossible to operate in a building that size. But we want to be able to utilize the space. We had 9 rec league teams in town last year that had to battle over 3 fields for practice. So if we can alleviate a little bit of that with a facility like that, it would be beneficial to all the teams. And then if you have rainy days, there's a facility to practice in. But we want to be able to use it as well for like camps, any programs we can bring in to help the local youth. Our goal as a rec is to not open it up to 100 kids in 4 counties. We want to help our local youth. And any way we can benefit them is our goal. So, but just to be clear, training facility, not a teen center where they go and hang out at all hours. You have to be scheduled, an adult be present. Obviously, we'd love to have the coach be the one that's present to operate a practice. So that's the ultimate goal. Yeah, and then the money, of course, the amount. We're looking at a lot of grants, a lot of big grants. Community Foundation, we spoke with the Drug and Alcohol Council. We spoke with our strategic planner who has ties to Dangy Hansen. There's a big grant coming up April 15th by the Community Foundation. And what we talked about, like if we apply for these grants, we just want to know that we have it to go to something, right? So not to like speed up this process and get it in a hurry, but make some decisions and decide we want to do this. And whatever agreements we have to come to, we will, and whatever taxes and insurance information we need to come up with, we will. But we wanted to come to you with a plan. We didn't just
Okay.
want to throw something on your plate. So I think you have one before you, and
I think what they want, what they're hoping for tonight may not be something you can actually give them, which is like a vote to approve the gift, because technically we don't have the specific conditions quite yet. But I'm optimistic you'll have that by the next meeting. What I can say is, I think that you as a council can discuss, okay, do we want to, if the condition of the gift is that it's for city use, primarily for the rec department, if that is no longer sustainable, then the city can use it for another purpose. Does the city want to accept that gift? And if that's the case, it at least gives them the information to move forward and start preparing different grant applications with the idea that this gift is going to be accepted by the city and they'll have this property to start working on. But that's not going to happen. Like, they won't be able to take possession until mid to late summer. But their grant applications are due in April, right? So they just kind of want to make sure they don't waste a lot of time preparing these like tedious grant applications if this isn't something the city's going to be interested in letting them do. Is that fair?
yeah, very much. The big thing with the grants and our strategic planner, she said, we nailed both of them, benefiting youth and sustainability is a big one. And the only way we can do that is through the city. So I think it's a great program for the youth, and anytime you can help the youth, you get availability to a lot of grants, and a lot of money to help with processes like this. So that's our goal, and it's all ready to go. It's just a matter of, is it a good idea from the council standpoint?
Comments, Councilor?
I can just remember years when you wondered if we had a rec commission. I mean, there was baseball, softball, and then we get into the flag football and that stuff. What these people are trying to do, I think will be so rewarding just for the kids, get those kids in there. Don't let them take a cell phone in there. I just, we've put a lot of money out there through different programs in the recent years, and it seems like those programs haven't worked out real well. I think we gotta let them explore it. I'd say we give them the okay, see what you come up with, and then whatever she decides, I don't know, she probably wouldn't say, we'll revisit this in 10 years.
No, I don't think so. I don't want to speak for her, and I know that I don't want to speak for her. I don't want to speak out of turn. So I'll just say that I think, based on our conversation, I think that she will agree to have a broader condition, right? I think that won't be a problem, but she wanted a little time to think about it.
I'll tell you, she was so excited when we said that this would go to youth activities. Like, that is her main reason for wanting to donate this building. And I don't want to say like she's not going to approve anything that Tabitha's talking about, but to see it fulfilled in that aspect is going to help a lot for her to see that it went to that. So
Yeah, I mean, I think if you guys said today, yeah, we're interested in the building, but we don't want to do this rec commission thing, she's not going to gift the building. I think that initially this is what she would like to see happen. So I think if you're thinking, oh, we don't like this idea, then you should probably tell them that.
In my opinion, that'd be the only way we'd be interested in, is have them do it.
Yeah.
We don't want it otherwise.
Yeah, but it will be ours.
Well, I know, but if we got these guys that take care of the what they want to do with it, that's what we want.
If
I
you,
think it's a
in my
no-brainer.
opinion,
I do
if you
too.
said today, it's the consensus of the council, we like the idea and you guys can move forward with it. It's not a binding, you haven't accepted the thing, and if they apply for grants and it turns out that there were some things we didn't realize, it's not too late. You don't own the building yet, you know? But I think they would like to get moving on grant applications. So they need some kind of blessing from
Chris,
y'all.
comment?
I will echo Dawn. I think we're fortunate to have a group of volunteers on this board that are willing to invest their efforts and time and blood and sweat to put something together. The general condition of the facility, I realize the infrastructure as far as HVAC and plumbing, you know, but is the building, I mean, it's structurally okay?
From all we can tell, yes, but we have not physically been in it yet. Yeah, in the next month or so, we should be able to get in it, and we'd love for you guys to come look at it if you have time. And
I might butcher this, but wasn't that built with Haydite block? Is that how they pronounce that?
Yep.
Aldite or Haydite, which is a very poor insulation value building material block.
the complex, I believe, had that issue
Yeah.
as well, of the school.
Yeah.
Spray foam wouldn't be done with it.
So I think insulation of some sort might,
Right.
I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I think that thing's probably very inefficient from a heating or cooling standpoint. And then the property tax thing, I don't, I think that's something we ought to research, because that's gonna be a huge hit if they provide all these improvements to this facility, and then
Absolutely.
30% on a nice building, that's gonna be a huge thorn for all of us, but totally on board with what you're doing. It's great. I think you guys almost need an applause for what you're doing here.
Yeah, I think between Jill and I, we can figure out for sure the tax issue and what, if any, what if anything we can do to abate that or remediate it or be exempt from it. Neither one of us have the answer today.
Dave, comments?
Yeah, I just think that we need to, at least give them the approval to explore it. I think the property tax issue is a big one, but, I think we need to explore, allow or give them the, approval to explore, you know,
Yeah.
what it's actually gonna
Okay.
do. Yeah.
Tracy?
It's a good idea. We need something like that in this area.
Brady?
I think they need to explore it. The only thing that first came in my head was the upkeep, cleaning, mowing and all that stuff. How's that? But that's after,
After the fact.
yeah.
After you get it.
Yeah, I think for them, like, once you guys have a good idea of how much money you're actually gonna get in grants, that's gonna help you come up with an actual plan that gives you a phase of how you're gonna do things and all of that. Right now, it's like, this is our bucket list of things we'd love to purchase, but you all obviously know doing that in 1 year is probably unlikely. So it's hard for them to give you a super specific plan when they don't know what they don't know.
Understand. Consensus of the council to proceed.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, yep.
Anything else for the rec commission? Any other action items? Yeah.
Did you guys have anything else?
Thank you, Joe. Joe?
Thank you, guys.
You bet. Yep. Sean? Economic development, we had some action items with economic development. Yeah, there's a few. Yeah. A few?
Biggest things, we wanted to mention, we kind of looked at the revolving loans that are in arrears right now. Biggest one being Twisted Pedal. We've heard
Whoa. Let's not mention any names, but that one's been resolved.
Sorry, that
Strike it.
information given to us. Couple other ones, we had no new updates on a couple other ones as well. So, moving on. The only actionable item we had for the evening was a recruitment application from Show Communication for 2 field techs at $7,000 each.
And this is from the revolving fund that we have, the recruitment has $60,000 from the Dane T. Hansen Foundation, and so that's where that money comes from, it doesn't come out of our budget or anything. So,
Okay.
A motion was passed and to approve both of those applications.
All the paperwork in order?
Yep.
What's the numbers?
$7,000 for each field tech.
so that's if they hire somebody with a $7,000 bonus that gets
Okay.
paid out. Those people, and they have to stay committed to the business for, I think it's 2 years or something like that.
Okay.
Otherwise, they have to pay that money back. And again, that doesn't come out of anybody's budget, it just is out of a fund
Okay.
that we have, or the recruitment team has. for this activity.
Comments, guys? Need a motion to approve those 2 purchases? Or not purchases. But been moved and seconded to approve that hiring deals, whatever they call them. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
That's it, that's all we had on our agenda, so
Okay.
everything else was, there was nothing else that was actionable. We got Heritage Town Home, we got 3 open spots there we're filling up, and then, we have made an offer to somebody to do, for the, not our director position, but it's the part-time position that we had before. We're gonna keep looking for a director, but we really need somebody in there right now, and so we've already there's already a job description for that. This is what Dana Peterson was doing, for our group. This is a part-time employee job, and, hoping to have some finalization on that this week.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that, is all we had.
Anybody have anything for the economic development? Don?
No. No.
Dave? Brady?
No,
Good job, guys. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Jamie, you may have the floor. You have anything to bring for the council?
I don't have a lot. I had a complaint about, the speed traffic was driving up on Park Street and Third Street on the corner up there, so I'll be watching that a little more closer. Lady called in, was complaining about after school and before school, so we'll start watching that, and I'm gonna be gone to training next week, pretty much all week, so.
I had a trash complaint, and I'll forward that on to Rick.
Yeah, I've got a couple places I've got photos. Just haven't had time to get with Jill with everything going on to get letters sent on a couple things.
Yeah.
One of them was blanks down there. I went and looked at their property the next day after that council meeting, and like I said, got tied up with a lot of stuff that next meeting, so
Okay.
didn't get everything to them, so.
All right. Brady, you have anything for Jamie?
No.
No.
Tracy? Dave, you have anything for Jamie?
no, I'm good.
Okay. Chris? No. Don?
The only thing I had is I've had a couple of people ask me about parking on the wrong side of the street.
Yeah, we can like to look into that.
That's because they said if somebody's parked where they're supposed to be and somebody parks on the wrong side, it's a mess.
Well, you run into that if they park legally on both sides of the street.
Oh, yeah.
Some of our streets aren't that wide, but yeah, I'll get on top of that.
That's all I have.
Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it. Rick, you have anything to bring for the council?
I don't think I have anything.
Brady, you have anything for Rick?
No.
Tracy?
No.
Dave?
No.
Chris?
No.
Don?
Nope.
The alley
Did you say that's?
in block 1, 2, 3, 4th block, south of the grade school playground, or north of the grade school playground, drive that alley.
How far north?
The one across the street from the playground. It's in the fourth block.
We've
Yeah, that's-
written in several letters, we're on that.
That's one of them. that I'm looking
Front
at.
porch is the same way, and
Yeah, I mean, I got jumped the other day about it.
well, every time I drive by there, there is a stack of wood and a couple old tires and a vehicle parked there.
No, I drove through there just the other day and there's probably 25 to 30 trash bags.
Okay, well, they're outside the fence.
Yeah,
And we can write another letter. This individual or this household, we have written several.
it's
Over
to
the
the
years,
point,
they clean it up and then
it's
do it
almost
again.
rolling out and do the alley.
Okay, I'll go by there tomorrow, because it wasn't that long ago, I was by there, and Brian's mom lives next door to
Yeah.
me, so we get,
Yeah, no.
And I don't blame them for complaining.
And the neighbor to the north of that,
yeah,
and the neighbors north or south of that that they're using his fence.
They know the process and they get the letter. They know they have 10 days. They wait, they clean it,
Anyway,
start all over.
what do you do? Okay, thank you,
Yep.
guys. Jill, do you have anything to bring before the council?
Just a couple. Got a notice on K204, the wedding that they just told us was going to happen in November. It's now January.
You do want to call executive session after we get through our committee
Correct.
reports and
Just a 5-minute.
Yeah.
And then Rick alerted me of the billboard along 36. It's in between Casey's and Jean's. So he sent me pictures. I contacted the state because that actually falls into their jurisdiction.
Right.
She did sent a letter that she sent the owner, including the pictures. They unfortunately give 1 year for it to be either taken down or fixed.
1 year.
1 year, that they have until February 16th, 2025. And at that point, if it's not in good condition, the sign license will be terminated and a new sign will not be able to be erected without first obtaining a license through the state. So,
What about
Just
if you were
a
the
heads
one, if you were the one advertising?
well,
On
currently
that
it's the
sign.
owner that is the only one that's advertising.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, I do not know the answer to that. But I did contact them at the state and they were on it right away, which was good, and sent the letter, pictures that Rick had. We did also send a letter that as of this afternoon has not been picked up by an individual that does have drainage coming out of their house, supposedly from a washing machine or something at that point, but it is illegal nonetheless. So as soon as that is picked up, they again have to address that. And it may come to council for further, because this is the second time that we have
Okay.
had to do that notice, and the ordinance doesn't really provide us a follow-up at that point. So just a notice in case.
Yeah, that water coming out of the back door of the house.
Yeah, that wasn't on purpose.
Yeah. She was just eye level.
But that's all I have.
Brady, you have anything for Jill?
No.
Tracy,
No.
Dave, Don? Chris?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Jill. Ariel, do you have anything to bring before the council?
No, Rick pretty much covered it earlier, so.
Okay. Anybody have anything for Ariel, Don, Chris, Dave, Tracy?
No.
Brady? All right. Tabitha, do you have anything to bring before the council?
I don't think so, just the rec commission stuff.
Okay, anybody have anything for Tabitha? All right, Chris? Got anybody to report?
I have nothing.
Tracy?
One thing on the pool house, we're gonna try to pour concrete this week.
All right.
I don't know if we got any lifeguards to fill it, but I'm just
Put them in the concrete.
throwing, we got some concrete gonna go down.
I'd just like to think that let's get this pool house done because the rest of that's somebody else's.
I mean, there's a lot of,
No.
oh, one other thing I'd like to mention about that though. Billy don't wanna do the electrical, and I've asked Jordan Jones
Mhm.
if you'd be interested. Is that gonna be okay with the council? If we bring him up here and get a quote or whatever
Yeah, that'd be fine.
for doing that? Okay.
Do you have to let it for bids?
I think it was already.
We've walked the bids already.
So basically
We're
what you
walking
did was
bids.
give the contract to Billy, so Billy can subcontract
And I
the
think he's
electrical
gonna
to
just,
whoever he
that's what he
wants.
wanted to
Okay,
do.
that makes
Okay.
sense. I was
That's all
just
I
like,
got.
oh gosh, do we need to do that again?
Oh, yeah. Don, you have anything?
No, that was all covered in the recreation
Dave,
stuff.
do you have anything to bring for the council?
No, I don't.
Brady?
No.
We have, what do you need, 5 minutes of executive session, Jill?
Yeah, that should do it.
Okay. We need a motion to do 5 minutes executive session for non-elected personnel.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Been moved, seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried.
You doing that before governing body?
They just did governing body.
Just play right through it. Okay. Yeah, right through it. Wait, did you have something for the governing body?
No. I got something for you. I can't say it on live TV.
All right.
That was on there.
Thank you, Rick.